We're in, we are up to Pasuk Ches. Chapter 27, last chapter in the Chumash. Pasuk 8. Okay. Okay, Lou, you want to start off?
Okay. V'im mach hu me'er kecha ze'e'rido mipnei ha'kohen ve'e'rich oso ha'kohen al pi asher tasig yad ha'noder Ya'arichenu HaKohen. So I don't know what mach is.
Okay, Rashi going to explain it means he's poor.
If he's poor,
It means, now who's he?
the person who is bringing offering.
Right, I mean, the person who's actually taking upon himself, we're talking about somebody who took upon himself to bring either his own value, prescribed value,
Right.
okay, or somebody else's value, okay? Now, imachu, if he is poor me'er kecha, from the value,
So he doesn't have enough money to pay the value.
right?
The Hamido and his
The Hamidah, he shall stand him.
he shall stand him before the Kohen.
Now, who's going to stand before the Kohen? So this is a very strange thing. This whole concept, which is mentioned in this passage, is something which I have very difficult to understand. I'll explain the problems over here. Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
The Hamidah Lifnei Kohen, he should stand the person who has been the value of whom he wants to give. Let's say Reuven says, I'm going to give the value of Shimon. Okay, the erech of Shimon, which is a prescribed value. Now, you don't need Shimon there to be there, because either you just know how to know his age.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, as long as he's between 20 and 60, then he's 50 shekels. If he's between 5 and 20, then he's 20 shekels. Okay?
Right.
And if he's been over 60, he's 15 shekels. Right? It's all prescribed values. Okay. Nevertheless, the Torah says over here, V'hamidoi rifnei hakohen. Right.
So Shimon has to stand before the Kohen.
Correct. And that's what Rashi is going to point out. Ve'erich oisoi al kohen. And the Kohen shall evaluate him, meaning Shimon. How so?
I thought we said there's no evaluation.
That's number one. And number two, what is it? Why should you have to evaluate him? We're talking about how much the person Reuven, who's the one who took upon himself the vow, how much he can afford. And that's what the process is going to carry on. Al pi asher tasig yad al noider, according to that which the one who made the neder can afford, yarichenu hakohen, so the kohen shall evaluate the person who is being evaluated.
Making sense.
Okay? The simple thing the Torah should say, make a means test, right? Look into his bank account, see how much he can afford.
Right, but of Reuven.
Reuven
should
So
stand.
why is it necessary to bring Shimon over here, standing for the Kohen, and evaluate him? And by the way, it's interesting, we learn out a very important halakha from here, that if Reuven says, I've taken upon myself the value of Shimon, and Shimon unfortunately has had gone through a very serious accident or seriously ill, and we know he's got a din of a treifa, means he's not going to live. Right? So we say such a person is not able to stand before the Kohen. Anybody who's not able to stand before the Kohen you cannot give his value. Cannot give his prescribed. He doesn't have a erech. He doesn't have a prescribed value. And that's what we hear, because you've got to be somebody who's be able to stand in front of the Kohen. And this person, since he's not, so this is what's called in the Gemara Hamoda bar Hamoda v'aracha. Means he's got to be able to stand and be evaluated. Okay? But as you say, what's the idea of this evaluation, Bechlal? If it's fixed. By the way, Rashi mentioned, we saw this, Rashi mentioned yesterday, this word erkecho, right, which Rashi explained. The cho doesn't mean your value. It means this is the word. Or your erkecho means that's the word itself. This is the Ibn Ezra, just 1 second. Ibn Ezra says it's like a word with a double. Kaf be'erkecho al das kol medaktikim noisa. It's an extra. The tam be'erech. Yesh. Says that. That's what he says. It means it's like a double letter. Somebody else said this. Here, Rashbam. Shnei hakafim kofelu, k'mo shetoma me'oidom admimus, lovon livnoinis. Right? It's like a double. Sometimes you want to have an emphasis to show something that's very red.
Very what?
Let's say you have odom means red. What's something very?
Oh, very red.
It's admon, right? You say admon. You double over the letter. So, in line of what we mentioned yesterday, it could be that the double chof is telling you you're not just evaluating physical evaluation. It's a general evaluation of the person's worth, both physically and spiritually is the right word, or maybe taking into account the person's wisdom, right? Taking the person's not just his in other words, his value in general, taking both his physical and his emotional, intellectual side as well, both physical and intellectual value together. That's why it has a double, like, we just say erech and we think, okay, that's just the physical value. Erech kacho, I think like it doubles over the kaf, means tells you we're dealing with two values over here.
Oh, okay.
Physical and intellectual value.
We're dealing with both values. So
We were talking about that yesterday. You took the
we
intellectual side and
yesterday?
the spiritual side, and I took the physical side? Right.
Right.
Yeah, I took spiritual.
Right. So it's a little bit of both.
Right.
Right. Because we mentioned that, because you asked the question, if the old lady, right, over 60, she's better, worth more in the house.
Right.
So why isn't
Right.
nevertheless her value less than the man?
Right.
So the answer is it's a combination of whereas wisdom-wise, she's more valuable than the man, right? But the physical-wise, maybe she's still less. I mean, her value drops percentage-wise less than the man. But nevertheless, all in all, taking both the physical and the intellectual value together, she still is of a lesser value than the man. Okay.
Right. Rashi?
Yeah.
Ve'im machut. She'ein yado, that it's not in his power.
She'ein yado masek, it means his hand his hand doesn't achieve, can't reach. Litein ha'erech hazeh, to give
this value.
Because he can't
It's not
afford to
within
give.
his power to give.
It means when we say in English, he can't afford to give this value. Okay?
Right. Tehamido le ne'erach
Right.
lifnei hakohen. He's evaluated for the kohen.
But you stand the one who's being evaluated, not the person who is giving the value, but the person whose value has to be given. The ne'erach means ne'erach is the one whose value, not the one who's giving, but the one person, he's the object whose value is being given to the HaKodesh, right? Okay? The ne'erach b'fnei HaKohen, you have to stand in before the Kohen.
V'ya'arichenu l'fi hasagat yado shel ma'arich.
Right. And you evaluate the nerach according to what the ma'arich means, the one who's going to give the money, what he can afford. So now it seems, what do you need some sort of evaluation? Just see, let's say he promised the guy who's between 20 and 60, so he really has to give 50 shekels. He says he doesn't have 50 shekels in his bank account. Let's say he has 25. So I'm wondering, I don't know, the chayr from the Gemara's mashma, the thing is that he would have to give the full 25. If he had 25 shekels, go to 25. So what is the meaning of evaluating him, evaluating the person whose value has to be given? Right? The guy doesn't have 50, so give whatever he has. Well, what has to be evaluated a person in error? I don't know.
So Rashi hasn't really helped us.
No. And then let's see the next Rashi.
Al pi asher tasid, lefi ma, in accordance with what sheyesh lo, that there is to him, yisad renu.
Right. He should arrange for him. I guess that's the best word. What does that mean? Yashir lo kedei chayov. Means, let's say Reuven says, I'm going to give this value of this Shimon to HaKodesh, and really that value should be 50 shekel, but he doesn't have 50 shekel. So now what's it mean? What does he have in his bank account? 25. There's 25 shekels in his bank account. Silver shekels. So he's got 25, value of 25. So that means, okay, so I take all 25 to give it? No. Yashir lo kedei chayav. He leaves him what he needs for his basic living costs. I.e., mita, a bed, kar, a cushion, keses, a blanket, uklei umnus, and whatever work tools he requires, right? Meaning, in hoya chamar, if he was a donkey driver, mashir lo chamar, he leaves him his donkey.
So his livelihood, means of livelihood.
Right, so in other words, we don't make the person who promised this vow, if he can't afford it, we don't make him skin and say, okay, we're clearing you out, whatever penny you have, we're taking towards this neighbor. No. So it says, give him at least what he can live off, we don't make him absolutely destitute. Give him at least what he can live from, and the rest he's got to give towards this vow.
That's interesting, because it's the laws of bankruptcy in America are similar. If somebody goes bankrupt, you don't take everything. He's entitled to have a car, he's entitled to have a certain amount of clothing.
House, not.
I don't think he's entitled to have a house, but he's entitled to have something to support his living,
right,
and his livelihood. He's allowed to keep working. You don't take all of his
of his wages.
salary.
Right.
You can take part of it. You can garnish his wages. So it's they may have gotten it from here.
You can garnish, but not make them garnished.
Right.
So they're giving him the tools to do what he needs to do, right?
Right. Okay. Let's go on. I don't know, this is a very, very problematic passage. I don't have a clear explanation here what's going on here. Okay. Pasuk Tes, Yisrael Me'ah.
In Bahema Asher Yakribu Minenu, Korban Hashem, if the animal which you bring from him.
From it, the type of animal which you can bring as a sacrifice to Hashem.
All that we should give from it to Hashem, the HaKodesh should be holy.
That's it. Now, this is okay. Just now, here we're referring to.
Mimenos from the. We're still the same case of the giving the value, or we switched?
Yeah, well, now we switch to animals.
So we're not.
We left the humans. We left humans now. Okay, for the moment. Okay. Now we say in behema asher yakrim menu korban Hashem, kol asher yitzim mimenu Hashem yeh kodesh. Now, what it basically the pasuk is saying in simple terms is that if somebody takes an animal and an animal that's fitting to be offered as a sacrifice, okay, then if he says this animal should be for Hashem, then you offer it as a sacrifice, which means as follows. What the Torah is telling you a chiddush over here is, let's say a person takes a sheep, okay, and he says, I want this sheep to be holy. I want this sheep to be for Hashem. Now technically, there's two options. It could either be offered as a sacrifice, or its value could be given to the temple treasury to be used for whatever the treasury needs it for. Okay? So the Torah tells us, well, if you take an animal which is fitting to be offered as a korban, and the guy says, Stam, I want it to be L'Hashem, that means it's going to be offered as a korban. That's called matfis tmimin. Right? Somebody says about a tmimin, a perfect animal, an animal which is fitting to be offered on the altar, to be offered as a sacrifice, and the person says, Stam, I want to give it as to Hashem. That statement to Hashem, we construe his statement to mean he wants to give it as a korban.
Does that mean it's completely burned?
The chayre means it's an oila, yes. Yes. Okay? Now, what Rashi is going to mention over here, then the second part of the pasuk, it says, that those words are somewhat superfluous. It just says, it says, anything that he gives of it from it to Hashem should be holy. So Rashi is going to explain. Somer, to the Rashi, Kol Asher Yitem
Menu, should give from it. Amar Ragla Shazu Oilah. The regal of this one?
Yeah, the leg of this animal should be a burnt offering. Varav Kayomim. Okay, his words stand. Now, can you bring, let's say you take an animal, good kosher animal, no blemish whatsoever, and you say the leg of this animal should be a burnt offering. Now the chayra, you can't just offer the leg, okay? Because if you have to, the rest of the animal's alive, and even if you shecht it, right? You can't just offer just a single limb as a offering. It has to offer the whole animal. So what?
If you shecht it, why can't you just cut off the leg and?
Yeah, I know, but that means there's another thing. You have to offer a complete animal. You can't just offer parts of an animal as a sacrifice. So what do you do? So that's what he says.
Don't you have the some korbanot that are partially burned and partially eaten?
Yes, but then the Torah prescribes that part is supposed to be burnt. But a burnt offering, the whole thing gets burnt except for the skin. All the flesh part, and the innards and everything gets burnt. Okay, so he says, the leg of this animal should be a burnt offering. Dvarav Kayomim, his words stand, means the leg of this animal has the status of a burnt offering, but you can't offer it just as a burnt offering as is. The timocha lesorche olas. What do? You sell the value, you sell this leg, which you say, you sell the animal, and you evaluate what percentage this leg is of the entire animal, and therefore what's the value of this leg. Okay? And that value of the leg, now with that money, you've got to now buy an oila with it, a burnt offering. So what you know, so let's say the person says the leg of this animal should be burnt offering, the leg of this sheep. Now this sheep is worth 500 shekels, let's say. Okay? And the leg is worth, let's say, 100 shekels. Maybe it's not a great valuation, let's say 50 shekels. Okay? The leg is worth 50 shekels. So now what you do is, you take this animal, okay, sell it, okay, and so you're going to get 500 shekel, and 50 shekel of that 500 shekels now has to be used to buy another animal to offer a burnt offering.
So you have 450.
So 450 the guy can keep for himself, and 50 shekels he has to use as with which to acquire a burnt offering. Okay, that's basically what we're saying here. That's what he says, but accompanying what Rashi is saying from this passage. Koi, anything, Asher Yitim Menu, from it, Hashem for Hashem, that should be holy. Meaning, even if you only give part of an animal, promise part of an animal to get burnt offering, the vow which he has said, I want this part of the animal to be a burnt offering, stands to the effect that the value of this part of the animal will be offered as a burnt offering. Okay? Fine. Shlomo, can we have your attention, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Said the im.
No, we just did that. We did that. Yud.
Okay, good. Lo yakalifenu. Oh, yakalifenu. Below yamir oto. To bara. Ova. Ato. The im hamer. Yamir behema. Behema. Bahayahu. Ut murato. Yehiyah Kodesh. So you you should not exchange, I guess...
Can't switch it.
You can't switch it.
Yomir
And you shouldn't be strict, or you shouldn't be strict.
Now, Tamura, here's what we call Tamura. Tamura is also a form of exchange, but you're transferring its holiness to another animal.
Okay, so if...
No, below your mirror, so you mustn't transfer
You
its
mustn't
holiness.
transfer...
Tov bara.
It's Kodesh?
Yeah, Tov bara.
To another animal.
A good one for a bad one. Or rather,
From one animal to another. And it will be...
No, 1 second. Tov bara. Good for a bad or bad for a good.
Right, okay.
If you did try to make a transfer of holiness from one animal to another,
It will be
it
tomorrow.
it itself, and its transfer, its exchange animal, will be holy. Meaning,
So both animals will be holy.
right. Because if you wanted to have animal A, you wanted to transfer its holiness to animal B,
Right.
okay, then what the end result is both animal A and animal B remain holy. You mustn't do it.
Right, you said that.
You're not Yomira, so you shouldn't do that. Okay?
Right.
Tobara, whether it be good or bad or good.
Yeah.
Right? Bad for good. And if you did do it from Homer, Yomi, Behema, Behema, if you did said I'm transferring the holiness of one animal to another, what's going to be is, then the animal shall be the original animal and its transfer, its substitute, yeah? That's right, its substitute, both of them, the HaKodesh will be holy.
Okay.